What's up, traders? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I am coming at you again with another episode of The Trader's Mind. And in this episode, we are going to be discussing how to keep your account green. We're going to be talking about the psychological patterns that occur when facing red days that can often put you much further into the red than you would ever want to go. And we're going to talk about what kind of psychological patterns we can develop that will help us stay in the green. And so I titled this episode, The Greater Green. I want to introduce an idea to you, especially to those of you who are beginner traders and you're looking to build an account, and even to the more experienced trader for maintaining your account, preserving your capital. I want to introduce an idea to you, something that can be planted in your mind, something that you can refer back to or think about when you are facing some of the most critical moments in the market, when your P&L is taking a hit. When you find yourself in the red, I want you to remember this phrase, the greater green. The greater green. I want you to remember this. This is something I want you to think about. The next time you're in a red trade, the next time you have a red day, the next time you're nearing your daily max loss, I want you to think about the greater green. So where did I get this phrase from? We all know that there is a popular phrase out there that is commonly used called the greater good. And when we think about the greater good, we oftentimes think about those situations in life where maybe we're inconvenienced a little, or maybe we have to make a sacrifice. Maybe we're in a situation where we're taking a hit in some kind of way, but we know and understand that it's all for the greater good. And I thought about many examples this morning. I thought about wars that have broken out before, that have freed entire nations, that have freed an entire group of people, and how even though there was a lot of bloodshed, it was still ultimately for the greater good. I thought about less drastic comparisons. For example, say you're saving up some money because you want to take your wife on a vacation. You want to take her to some travel destination that she's always wanted to go. But then say something happens, I don't know, maybe with a friend, a neighbor, a family member, where they fall into financial devastation. Maybe it was a serious situation where somebody had to be hospitalized and there were medical bills that came up and you just felt like you needed to take that money and give it to them. Obviously, it's painful. You don't want to do that. You don't want to sacrifice this vacation that you've waited so long to take your wife on, but at the same time, it's for the greater good. Okay, and so I'm applying this in a similar fashion. When we're in the world of day trading and we enter the markets every single day, we're hit with a lot of inconveniences sometimes. And I think sometimes it's really difficult for us to just stop ourselves in the moment and think about how sometimes taking the red trade or even taking the red day, yes, it's an inconvenience. Yes, you don't want to say that you lost out on this trade. Yes, you don't want to say that you're ending the day in the red. But you do want to say, you know what, at least I can come back tomorrow and try again. And you do want to say, at least I'm still living to trade another day. I still have an account. I've still preserved my capital, and I still have a future with day trading. And you can keep your eye on the greater green. So sometimes taking those red days is necessary, because otherwise, if you refuse to take it, what oftentimes happens is that you continue to try to get out of the red. You size up with bigger position and you just go into a further downward spiral and oftentimes take a much bigger red loss than what you had to. And oftentimes you come in the next day of trading with a greater sense of urgency to dig yourself out of what became a much bigger loss. And then sometimes, in the worst, most extreme scenario, you end up blowing your account. These things can be avoided by keeping our eye on the greater green. And what do I mean by that? Let's just say, with your account size, you are like me and you have a daily max loss of $500. You don't want to lose any more than $500. Okay? Now, sometimes we lose more than $500. Even though that's our daily max loss, sometimes, yes, we do exceed that daily max loss. I did it earlier this week. I lost $900. So that was almost double my daily max loss. But I had to stop myself. I had to stop myself and I had to say, you know what? I'm going to take this hit. I'm going to accept this inconvenience right now, as painful as this is, because I'm keeping my eye on the greater green. And so what's the greater green for me? I want to be green on the week. And so I kind of zoom out. I zoom out of that day and I say to myself, well, Monday was good, Tuesday was good, and so what? I lost $800-900 today. I can come back from that. And I can still end the week in the green. I can't tell you how many times thinking about where I'm going to end on the week has saved me in the moment on the day, has actually enabled me to take my loss, take it on the chin, and then walk away, shake it off, wake up the next morning, ready for another day. And you know what? Sometimes, it's not often, but sometimes I even have a red week. And so what do I do in that event? I still keep my eye on the month. I focus on the greater perspective. So I've had several red days and I'm red on the week. But you know what? Next week is another week. My win rate is pretty darn good. I'm usually a pretty solid trader. I know my strategy works. This has just been a rough week, but you know what? We've got the whole month. So I'm going to try to make sure that I at least end the month in green. So I zoom out even further. And this has helped me to be able to walk away even when I was negative on the week. As a matter of fact, the second week of starting this channel, I was in the red. I was underwater like negative $760 that week. Okay? It didn't feel good. Those first couple of weeks coming in to the market here, running the channel, it was a whole new experience for me. And it was kind of unnerving knowing that I'm sitting in front of a live audience of people who are actually watching me day trade now. And I'm coming here trying to demonstrate, trying to prove a conservative trading strategy. It messed with me mentally a little bit, I admit. Those first couple of weeks coming in, I was not really trading that well. The whole running the live stream and trying to pay attention to the chat, monitor the chat while also trading in the market and trying to stay focused. And, it took me a few weeks to gather my bearings. It really did. And so that second week in, I'm sitting here trying to prove to you guys a strategy and I'm underwater $760. But I thought to myself, you know what? I'm still in the green. I still have an account. I still have capital. I can live to trade another day. Next week is another week. I know my strategy works. I had to really pump myself up here and remind myself of the greater green. And what happened? I came in the next week, third week in to running this channel, and I ended the week up almost $2,000. I kept my eye on the greater green. And guess what? I came in the weekend after that, or the week after that, and I made almost another $2,000. It was over $1,500 that week. And so let's zoom all the way back in down to you taking just one trade, and that trade going against you, and you having to take a loss on that trade. Now I've got a daily max loss, like I said, of roughly 500, and I try to respect it, and for the most part I do. But I can allow myself to lose on several trades, $150 here, $100 there, $200 here, I can afford to lose maybe 2-3 trades before I need to get to the point to where I say, all right, I'm done. And I can't tell you how many times I've been down, $300-400, almost at my daily max loss, but because I kept my eyes on the greater green, I said to myself, I've had a few losing trades, but you know what? Again, I've got a pretty solid trading strategy. All it takes is really one good trade, and I can dig myself out of this hole. Or a couple good trades, and I can even end the day in the green. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I can't tell you how many times I started out in the red. Go back and watch some of my recaps. Go back and watch some of the videos. How many times I went into the red, but I didn't panic, and I kept my sights on the greater green. And I even in those moments, I kept my sights on the week. And I even said to myself, there were times where I was nearing $300 and $400, and I could have gotten shaken up by that. I could have been like, oh no, I'm about to hit my daily max loss. No, this can't be. I don't want this to happen. I could have gotten shaken up about it, but I didn't. Why? Because I thought to myself, you know what? Even if today is a red day and I hit my max loss, I can still end the week on the green. We got several more days left, so I'm not worried about it. This can still be a green week. And then I'll even zoom out even more, and I even might say to myself in that moment, and so what? Even if this week is a wash, I can end this month in the green. So after I do that, after I really broaden my perspective and focus on the greater green, I know I'm running the phrase into the ground. I'm beating a dead horse, but I want you to remember this, the greater green. This is called the trader's mind. I'm trying to ingrain this in your mind. Because when you're in that moment on that trade or on that day and you're losing money and you're about to hit your daily max loss, you can either start panicking, tearing into yourself and getting upset and, man, why did I do this? And beat yourself up, kicking yourself, whatever. Or you can stop and just release the pressure. You don't have to be green on the day. You got the whole week. And you know what? You don't even have to be green on the week. You got the whole month. Preserve your capital. Lower the tension. Lower the pressure. Don't stress yourself out. That's how I dig myself out of the hole on many days. And many days I've dug myself out of holes, and I've either ended, break even, or maybe even down a little, maybe a little underwater after commissions and fees. But a lot of those days I've actually dug myself up and ended up making $400 or $500. I'm not worried about it. I've got my mind on a bigger goal. And the bigger goal is I am building an account here. I am preparing for my future. Even if I end in the red today, it's just a drop in the bucket. It doesn't matter. I've got 4 more days this week to prove that I can be a consistently profitable trader. I got 4 more days this week. I can come back from this and I can put myself back in the green on the week. So what? I have a losing day, a break-even day, whatever. The next 3 days after that could be solid green days. And I can end the week in the green. And even if I don't, even if I just have a bad week of trading, guess what? We still got 3 more weeks in the month. When you zoom out and you try to look at the overall picture of what it is that you're trying to do, it really does relieve pressure in the moment. So when you find yourself in those places, I challenge you guys, think about the greater green. Stop yourself before you dig yourself more of a hole, into more of the red. Sometimes it's okay to take it on the chin. Sometimes it's all right to be inconvenienced a little. Sometimes the sacrifice is just taking that loss, moving on, and coming back to trade another day. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I'm looking forward to seeing what the market offers us this coming week. I do trade live right here on YouTube on this channel here every day, Monday through Friday, roughly beginning around 9 a.m. If you're new to the channel, consider liking and subscribing. And remember, keep your eyes on the greater green.